to my YouTube channel. Today we'll be discussing the common problems and challenges that you encounter when you are doing your solar installations. And these challenges have unavoidable provisions and equally solution which you will apply. So I am here to tell you the things that you will encounter as challenges and how you can solve them, because I am here to give you the solution to that. Today we'll be discussing the challenges. First, you should know that before you do any installation, there is what we call roof assessment. Perhaps you want to hang your system on top of the roof. What you need to do is, first of all, you go for the roof assessment. Assessing the roof, knowing the nature of the roof you are about to install that particular solar panel will enable you to do proper installation. How do you do that? When you step up there, you observe the roof, know the thickness of the roof, know how old, the number of years that the roof has stayed, so that you should be able to know if the roof has the ability to withstand the size of your panel, to withstand the weight of your panel. And in the same way, you should know the weight of your panel too. When you take all these measurements, you now come down and calculate the space that is available where you can position your solar panel. For instance, when your roof is old, it has the tendency of allowing your foot trap, that is the traffic of your movement on the roof, can make the roof to sink or to fall down. So, but by the time you have done your assessment and know that this roof is not strong enough to carry me, let alone withstanding the weight of the panel, you should avoid it on time. Then in the same way, when the roof is installed with the panel, old roofs have the tendency of penetrating when you are nailing down or screwing the rails that will be carrying the panel. So you should be able to avoid all these things on time. And when you are using your nails or your screws to nail down the rail mount for the solar panel, there is what we call flash band that will help you prevent the penetration of water into the house. So all these things are the things you put into consideration by assessing the roof at the first place before you carry out your installation. And when done, you will get accurate installation. Then the second step that you need to know that is equally a challenge is inadequate installations. Inadequate installation and rush to the process. So many people rush into this process, which cause inadequate installations. How does that happen? Because they are so intense and they are trying to do it faster without taking the proper study of what should be done before the installation. They try to rush into it and bring unprofessional job as an output. So what do I mean? When you are rushing it, you are not taking time to study the cables that is needed. You are not taking time the maintenance cost that is required. You are not studying the thing that is required for you to do that. So when you are mounting the solar panel, you should be conscious that there is maintenance that is required. So you take your time, study the size of the cable that is required. Key. Like I said, the rush and inadequate installation. When you are rushing it, you don't have a basic and standard knowledge on how you can use your materials effectively. So here you need to know what we call wire management or cable management. That is studying the size of the cable that is required for the solar panel, because that would bring effective delivery of the current flow and the voltages without the loss of current along the line. In the same way, you should know the diameters of the cable and know the dimensions of the wires. Equally know that once this is done, you cannot waste material. You will be able to give account of adequate and accurate diameters and the areas that those areas and the cable can work effectively. So you should know the size of the cable that will be required for battery interconnection. That is, when you are doing your interconnection of the batteries, you should know the size of the cable that is required. You should know the size of the cable that is required for the connections of the solar panel, and also the size of the cable that is required for the charge controller. In the same way, you should be able to identify and label the cable according to their polarities. Identifying and labeling them according to their polarities will help you avoid inaccurate installations. And once this is done, you get the job professionally done. So make sure that the wire is bundled and clearly labeled for you to enjoy the installation. Third is interrupting the water flow on the roof. How does this thing affect my installation? How is this a challenge? Yes, it is a very big challenge because when you allow the waterfall to remain on the roof, it will definitely make the roof to sink or make it weak in one way or the other. Even the panels, when you allow water to remain on it for a very long time, it has effect of causing rust on the metal aspect of it, which is the hangers. So to avoid it,